All right, we have two investigations going on, and they are both building momentum. Bryan Kohberger, the suspect in the Idaho murder investigation, was in court today, and he did what was expected, to waive his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. Why? Well, because, we're going to talk about it with a legal expert. We'll explain better than I can about it. And also, there is additional information about what he may have said to people about this crime and of one of his victims and what we see of her and about her house and that life. Okay, there's new body cam video of Kaylee Gonsalves. So let's bring in our guests, criminal defense attorney Mark Geragos and retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Good to have you both. Counselor Geragos, why would he waive speedy trial?
Well, first of all, they've got to do, and they've already started, a parallel investigation. This is a death penalty case. The last thing you want to do is rush into that. I know a lot of times there's some people who think that it's a good idea that the prosecution isn't ready. They're behind the eight ball. I don't believe that. I think with the resources that the government has, you almost always need to take a breath, take a beat, do the investigation, investigate all of the other things. And I will tell you, there are some rumblings around. I don't know if you saw the other day, there was a search warrant that was sealed. One of the reasons they gave for the sealing was very curious. There are all kinds of things that are swirling around this, and as any competent, he clearly has a very competent defense lawyer, would take the time to do the parallel investigation they need to do.
What was this squirrely language around the warrant, Mark?
There was some language in the warrant that if unsealed, not only would it compromise the investigation, but that arguably it would threaten law enforcement. That tells me that there's something there that they don't want out yet, or something that they missed, and they're afraid that if it got out that there would be public, what I call blowback. And I think that that's a legitimate concern. I will tell you, I've seen, I can't tell you how many thousands of warrants that have been sealed. Rarely have I seen one where the reason centered on the threat to law enforcement.
Coffindaffer, are you similarly concerned?
Yes, definitely saw that as sort of a very unusual language to use, and particularly since we have the complaint affidavit unsealed. Why aren't they unsealing those search warrant affidavits? It's not making a lot of sense, and I agree with Counselor Geragos on this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a suspicion that when they said, we talked about when the police came out and they said, this is the guy, we're 100% certain, there's nobody else that's going to be arrested. I think a lot of that is being called into question now.
Meaning what? There's somebody else, or that it's not him?
Meaning potentially that they think there's some other complicity here. There's some other liability here. There's something else going on here that made them necessitate closing or sealing that warrant to the public until March.
Coffindaffer, the idea that Kohberger reportedly said to one of his neighbors, looks like it was a crime of passion.
Right. Yeah, well, that's deflection, in my opinion. I don't believe this was a crime of passion, other than passionate in terms of his goal to murder these young people. That takes some passion, but not passion like we think of often, that there's a relationship and then that's turned to a passionate act of murder.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.